All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here for York International's School Live Discovery session. We're excited to have you join us here for about a half hour and hear a lot of information from our staff, see some wonderful pictures of our school, and learn everything about York International. Now, we are a K-12 International Baccalaureate school here in Mapleton Public Schools. And as we go through some of our slides this evening, we hope we have the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about who we are, see some photos of our students, hear about our wonderful programs, and of course there's a ton going on here with the kindergarten through 12th grade school program. You can see our agenda up on the screen right now, and before I go to the next slide and do some introductions, I want to remind everyone that you do have the opportunity to share some questions with us in the chat bar. This also is going to be recorded, so if you're watching the recorded version, at any time you could pause it, rewind it, watch it again. You will also get some information at the end of this presentation to have the opportunity to reach out to us. On our website, you could call the main office or even email me. My name, of course, is Mr. Van Etten. I am the school director here at York International, and I've had the privilege of serving the York community for over 6 years now. I've been in Mapleton Public Schools for over 10, and there is no other place I would rather call home. So you will get an opportunity to meet more of our staff this evening. And as you look on the screen, you can see their wonderful pictures. They will introduce themselves as we go through our slides here. But first up is Mr. Ben Schneider. He is our assistant director that works primarily with our secondary students. You'll also get to meet Miss Lene Smith, who works with more of our elementary students as an assistant director for next year. Mrs. Kelsey Cole is a wonderful first grade teacher here at York, and she's joining us this evening. Mrs. Leslie Cochran is our instructional guide and IB coordinator for our middle school grade levels. And Mrs. Jen Luscombe is our awesome high school post-secondary options coach. So as we get into more of these slides, again, if you have questions, put them in the chat bar. We would love the opportunity to answer them at the end of our session this evening. And buckle up here, we have about a half an hour here together to learn all about York. So for starters, on your screen right now, you will see our wonderful mission and vision here of York International School. It's plastered all over our school, in and out of the hallways, and also on our website. But if you read every single word in our mission and vision, you get a good idea of what we're about and what we stand for. Some of the lines that I specifically love to point out to our students and families as they're making their decision as to whether or not York is the place for them is that unyielding commitment that we as a staff, every single staff member at York International has an unyielding commitment to the success and well-being of every student that walks through our doors. The next part that I love to highlight is that we are here to serve every student that walks through our doors. So when you see that big and bold there, all students, every single one, will be empowered after attending York International to lead purposeful lives. So whatever a student's hopes and dreams may be, we are here to help them develop those. And as an international baccalaureate school, we serve students through our school model of being globally minded. And you're going to hear a lot more about what that means to be an international baccalaureate school as we go through some of our next slides. So we are International Baccalaureate. Now, if you read every line on here as well, you'll learn more about what it means to be an international baccalaureate school. But what I love to tell prospective students and families is that we deliver all of the same content that any Colorado school would, grades kindergarten through 12, just through a lens of International Baccalaureate. Now, that means a lot of things here, and you could go on to Google and search up all the things of what it means to be an IB school, but we urge you to pay attention here as our International Baccalaureate IB coordinator for middle school is here to tell us a little bit more about what it means to be a proud academic, rich cultural community that we are proud of here at York International. So I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Cochran, who's going to tell you guys a little bit more about the difference between our elementary programs and our middle years programs here at York International.
Hi everyone, my name is Leslie Cochran and I'm the IB coordinator and the instructional guide for the middle grades program, grades 6 through 8. Being an IB school means that we house two programs here. We have the PYP, which is a primary years program, and that's for our grades K through 5. and they learn all of the same things that they would in any other school, but we really focus on this idea of the transdisciplinary framework, meaning that we look through all of that content through a global perspective. We talk about different countries and we talk about different perspectives and how other people learn. And we also really encourage kids to take responsibility for their learning. And we really encourage them to be inquirers, to explore the world around them and to think about things in a much bigger picture than just their own home neighborhood community. As they transition from the PYP program into the MYP or the middle years program, middle years covers grades 6 through 10. So all of their middle school years and the first 2 years of their high school program are covered by the middle years program. And that's a really challenging framework. And we really ask kids to make big connections between what we're learning and what's happening in Thornton, Colorado and the rest of the world. So they read from a lot of different countries. They investigate a lot of different problems and how they're impacted globally. And also they look at design and music and language are all included and required by IB. So they really get to dive into that kind of design thinking and how to solve problems in a big global context in interesting and new ways. The other part of being an IB school is that we really focus on these learner profiles. And the first two are really very simple. And you think that all kids in all schools are focused on those, they're inquirers, they're curious and they're learning new things. And then when we hope that at the end, they're very knowledgeable and they can express that knowledge in a lot of different ways. The cool thing about the IB learner profiles is that we also ask them to be balanced. We ask them to take a look at their school life, their home life, their sports and academics. We ask them to think about how they balance those things. We ask them to be academic risk takers. We ask them to be open-minded when they hear perspectives from around the world that are often considerably different from their own. So IB learner profiles are incorporated into every classroom, and oftentimes at the end of every month when we look at our awards and how we celebrate different students, we think about these criteria and offer awards and celebrate them for doing these things exactly. So I'm going to take a minute here and turn it over to Mr. Schneider, and he's going to talk to you all about York.
Hey everybody, I'm Mr. Schneider. I'm the Assistant Director for grades 6 through 12, which means I mostly focus and spend my time with grades 6 through 12, but on lucky days, I do get into the elementary classrooms, which I really enjoy. As a former high school teacher, I love working in a K-12 because it gives me exposure to those little kids. So all about York, and that's what we're going to start with, is that we're a K-12, and we're the only K-12 in Mapleton, and that makes us really special, and we love it. There are so many opportunities as a K-12 that we can offer our students, and we'll get into more of that later. But what I want to talk about now is that we have an amazing, really incredible support staff. We have phenomenal special education support. We have amazing paraprofessionals that work here. We also have incredible academic support services. We have our own health assistant. We have a full-time school psychologist, a social worker. We have a community reach therapist that provides therapy and support services to students who need it. We have 2 English language learner leads. We have 3 IB coordinators. You just met Ms. Cochran, she's one of them. And we also have a lot of instructional paraprofessionals that help all of us do our jobs and serve students. So next, a little bit about what does a school day look like at York International. And so because we're K-12, all of our students start at 8:10 and finish up at 3:25. We provide free breakfast to everyone who attends starting at 7:55. In all of our classrooms, we have what we call a soft start. And so students are able to enter the building at 7:55, get a breakfast, and then make their way to their first period class and hang out in there and eat breakfast and visit with friends and teachers. This is something we started doing during the pandemic last year, and we loved it so much we hung on to it. And it really helps build community in our school and give students a nice 15 minutes to settle in before the school day starts. So our primary years program, like you heard earlier, goes K-5, middle years, grades 6-10, and then we also have grades 11 and 12. That while it isn't an official part of our IB program, we still wrap those grades in the IB program unofficially and continue the IB experience that students have in the middle years program. We also offer a lot of other opportunities at York as a K-12 and as a fairly large school, at least for Mapleton. We have a lot of students who participate in sports. We have a ton of students that participate in 0-hour performing arts activities, also in ROTC. We have an amazing student council that runs grades 4 through 12. We also have a National Honor Society chapter. We have a Key Club. We have a 21st Century Grant Program that you'll hear a lot more about later. And we have amazing programs that run through that, like photography, Girls on the Run, and La Raza. So right now I'm going to turn over the next bit of our presentation to Miss Kelsey Cole. She's one of our phenomenal elementary teachers.
Hi there. Hi there. My name is Kelsey Cole. I am a first grade teacher here at York. This is my 4th year teaching first grade here. So I also would like to say, like Mr. Vannetten did, I love calling York home. I am going to share with you guys some information about our elementary school. And we do call that the PYP, as you have already heard. That just stands for Primary Years Program. And what we really value in our primary years program is how students learn to really take control of their learning, and they are motivated by their interests and just by their confidence. And that starts in grades kindergarten, goes all the way up to grades 5. So one thing that we really like to do is we like students to set goals for their learning, and even our young kindergarten students learn how to set goals for themselves and what they would like to learn by the end of the school year. This is a quick little sample schedule of just a day in the life. So most elementary teachers set the first few hours of the day as their literacy block, and literacy is where they're learning phonics and how to read, how to write. And then you will see kind of in the middle of the day is when lunch and studios, or they're also called specials, that's when those two things happen. We have art classes, we have music, PE, Spanish classes, and the kids really love going to those studios. We also cover our math workshop. A lot of times that's towards the end of the day, and then most classes end with something called researchers workshop, and that is where students are led through inquiry, which means that they are researching topics that they want to learn more about on their own, and they share their learning with their classmates. So that's just a little bit about our elementary school. You will see in the picture to the left, that is a 2nd grade classroom that they have Chromebooks, and our 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students all have Chromebooks, and our kindergarten and 1st grade students all have iPads. So we really value the use of technology, even in in-person learning. This is a student named Roman, and you are going to see a few pictures just of a day in the life of this is a 1st grader, and it says, "I love learning at York with all of my friends, and my teacher helps me learn." So the kiddos really do value their friendships, and we have strong student-teacher relationships here. And these are 2 wonderful 4th grade students who also just talked about how much they love learning at York and how much they love being with their teachers and friends. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Cochran.
Hi, I'd like to share with you a little bit more about our middle school. I think one of the most important things to know about our middle school is that our middle school teachers are middle school teachers on purpose. We chose them, we love them. It's something that's exciting for us to do every day. A lot of people in the community think that we're absolutely crazy, but teaching middle school is what we do, and we all chose to do it. So we're all like really excited to be with these kids in their tween years. We have about 60 students per grade level, which means that our class sizes run between like 27 and 30 in each class. We worked really hard this year to eliminate some of the classes that they have per quarter so that they're not trying to manage 7 things all the time, that each of our kids go to 5 classes per day. So that's a pretty big shift from having one student, one teacher all day to then go to 6th grade and have 5 classes per day. Our middle school is a little bit different in that we do have grade 6 in the middle school. And I think we're fairly unique in that in Mapleton. So our middle school starts in grade 6. And I think that the other best thing about teaching middle school is the first 15 minutes of the day. We have connections, and it's just the way that we really focus on having kids know each other, and they like know me. So like they know each other and they know their teacher, and that's something that's really important to all of us, that they feel like they're seen, heard, and valued every day. A typical schedule for us is like first period, they'll go to a Spanish class or music class, and they go to English and math. English and math, they have the same teacher all year long, and they have that class every single day all year. Our Spanish classes, music classes, science and social studies, our other specials classes, design, PE, all of those, they switch every quarter. So they would be with one teacher for first quarter, second teacher, they would be second quarter, they would be with another teacher, and the third quarter, they would switch back. It sounds confusing. The kids do great with it, and I think that they really like having that variety in their day and the variety in their quarter. It gives them a chance to have different relationships with more teachers. This is just a quote from Harper. Harper's a great kid that we have here, and she says middle school is awesome because it's so spread out and we get to talk to everyone. Teachers are really supportive and they help me prepare for my future. I think we all believe in social learning, that that learning is a social experience, and middle schoolers are typically social people. So we do work really hard to make sure that they have plenty of time to talk all day long. Now I'm going to turn this over to Miss Lunscombe.
Hi everyone, so I am the post-secondary options coach here at York International. This is my first year here, and I have to say that I just really love our high school team and our high school program. We have so many of our kids being here since kindergarten. We have just some really amazing friendships that happen, and the students that have been here all along have just had a really great experience, and they love being here at York. Some of the special things we have is that we have over 30 students next semester who will take a concurrent enrollment class. These are classes that are offered to all high school students in the district, but we have some of the biggest numbers of students who are taking those classes, so that's really exciting. A concurrent enrollment class, if you don't know, is where you are a high school student, but you're actually taking classes at a college. So we partner with Front Range Community College, and York also partners with CU Denver for some of our students to take classes there. You can go to the next slide for me. So this is just our daily schedule this year. We have 6 periods and also have lunch. Some of our students do take 0 hour, which Mr. Schneider, I think, mentioned. So 0 hour is before the regular day starts. So I think it starts around 7 a.m., but that's our students who are in orchestra or choir, and they go to the Skyview campus and have their 0 hour, and then they come to us for the rest of the day. Something special that we have here at York is our post-secondary preparation class, and all of our seniors take this class. It's a class they take every single day. And in this class, we focus on everything to get them ready for what's after high school. So we've been working on college applications and scholarships, making sure that they're absolutely ready to graduate in May and on track. And all those things. So it's a really great opportunity for our seniors to have time together. And we also do some fun stuff like some fundraisers, and they are working right now on designing their senior hoodies, which is really fun. And something else that we brought in this semester is we are doing an internship program for our high school students to intern in the elementary. And it's just a great opportunity. They get to apply just like they're applying for a job. And they get to go in and work with some of the elementary students on math skills and English skills and all that good stuff. And I'm going to pass it on to Mr. Schneider again.
Hello again, everybody. So I'm going to talk real quickly about how we do grading in the middle use program. And I know this is normally a very dry subject, but it's something we wanted to highlight in this presentation because it's something that makes us really special. And the way we grade in grades 6 through 12 is standards-based grading. And that can sound really scary, but all it really means is that we only grade students on what they actually learn. We don't grade students on behavior. We don't grade them on attendance. We don't grade them on participation. We just grade them on what they've learned in a class by the end of the class. And we love this way of grading because it doesn't punish students unfairly who may not get what the teacher is teaching at the beginning of the class, or who need a lot of support to get to the learning outcome by the end of the semester. It's a very modern way to grade, and it's something that not a lot of schools in Mapleton do. And so we think it's something that really sets us apart and makes us special. We have a 0 through 8 grading scale. Now, students still get letter grades. We have a system that translates our 0 through 8 standards-based grading scale into letter grades. So we still provide students with letter grades. That's really important in a lot of ways. But the way that we actually assess students and their learning, we feel is very progressive, very modern, and really focuses on learning instead of some other things that are less important. So if we want to go to the next slide there, we have a few students here that we talked to recently about what they love about York. Jennifer is one of our wonderful students who's been here since first grade. And it says a lot when I think we have students that stay here for that long because they love it so much. And that's what she says there in her quote. I love the fact that I have family members here at York. And we also have Ronnie, who is a fantastic brand new 9th grader who is also loving his time here, and says he is making friends at York easily because everyone is so welcoming. So with that, I want to turn the presentation back over to Mr. Van Etten.
Hello again, everybody. I have to admit here, sitting behind the screen and getting to listen to some of the staff members that have already spoke, just talk about the things at York that we're proud of and the things that make us unique. It really fills my bucket, and especially, I'm leaving this slide up for a reason. When I get to hear the voices of our students at our school, it again just fills me with so much joy. So for the next part of our presentation here, we would love to show you inside our school. Now, again, a lot of the students and staff members give me a hard time about this. When I was told I could put some pictures of York in a presentation, I filled it with over 200 photos, because of course, there's just so many things we have to be proud of, but I did have to dial it down a little bit. So again, if you have questions about York, please put them in the chat bar and we'll answer them. And I want to remind everyone that you'll have the opportunity to get some contact information at the end of this presentation. So if you see a photo that you're questioning or you're curious about what that was, that could even be a great reason to reach out to us and ask for more information. I have to also let you know that some of these photos are just before our last 2 years of the pandemic era, and therefore you're going to see students participating in some events that we hope we can get back to as soon as we are able to have some more normal traditions taking place within our building. So with that, you get a chance to take a look inside our beautiful facilities. This is a gym, of course, that many family members, parents of students that even go to our school at one time performed or played sports. This is a photo of inside one of our standard elementary classrooms. You can see each student has their own space, but also a lot of room for group work. We are huge on reading and writing at York International, and as an international baccalaureate school, we have a pretty big library in the middle of our program, but also classes are so proud of their class libraries where students can pick books that really speak to them. You can see we're actually going up through grade levels here. I believe this is a 2nd grade classroom that has a lot of flexible space within York for students to branch out. This is one of our Spanish classrooms that is celebrating a lot of that Spanish culture throughout York International. One of the classes that we're incredibly proud of at York International are our design classrooms. And so here you're seeing a design lesson getting posted in a middle school classroom, where students are actually getting to build sculptures within their lessons. Oh, you can actually see there was a challenge for that design class. Here's a wonderful picture of down the hallway in our high school. This is one of the newest wings of our building. And if you're a community member that is used to going into York decades ago, you know that this looks very new, but we are proud of our new wing of the building for 9th through 12th graders. This is again inside a high school classroom, another high school classroom, inside one of our art and design spaces, one of our high school science classrooms. This is actually a physics class this year. Now, at this point of the presentation, you're wondering, where are all the students? Well, that's this part where I am exceptionally proud of, and I had to tone down my photos because I had more than 100 in here. This is down our elementary hallway. Students and parents, this is a shot inside our cafeteria. And again, you're going to get to see a lot of photos here of some happy faces, some fun celebrations at York International. Some of these photos were, of course, taken this year, some years in the past. But I think as I go through these, you might find yourself wanting to pause, rewind, circle back. We tell students at York International, even though we're wearing masks, we tell you to smile with your eyes. You can see a lot of their smiling faces. I wanted to pause on this one. You heard a lot of language around the fact that we are proud of the fact we have 5-year-olds all the way up to 18-year-olds in our building. And so you're seeing a photo here of mentoring programs going on in a design classroom where older students are showcasing their work to younger students in our building. Some of our middle school and high school students having fun with their projects. This is an event that we typically have when we have full high school or middle school or even elementary celebrations. We tend to do these once per month. This is one that was led by some of our upperclassmen that are in student council. This was the senior class celebration as they were getting closer and closer to graduation. Here is a photo of some of our IB personal project presentations. That's a great tradition at York. That's a teacher who got a pie in the face there. He is still smiling. Again, one more celebration. This was at the end of a school year a few years back. We are proud of having an inclusive learning center at York International for students with special needs. They are integrated within a lot of our general education classes, and it is a great part of our community here at York. We're pretty big on our website and also on social media, showcasing the celebrations of our students and some of the things they are proud of. One of my favorite traditions is the senior parade at the end of the year, where our younger students clap out all of our soon-to-be graduates. Love this sign. This is a collection of our seniors that started with us in kindergarten a few years back. So of course they graduated and were with us for 13 years in a row. And some of you might remember the senior graduation parade from 2020. This is a great photo from that event. And this is our wonderful staff at York International. We're a pretty big family. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Smith here, who's going to tell you a little bit about one more big program we have at York International.
Hi everyone, my name is Lene Smith. I am excited to say that I will be the new Assistant Director at York, focusing primarily with elementary grades, so that will be kindergarten through 5th grade. I've been lucky enough to be in Mapleton for over 10 years, and I'm excited to be part of the York team. As Mr. Schneider mentioned earlier, he talked about all the different opportunities that York offers. One thing we are really excited to offer is the 21st Century Community Learning Centers. So this is about over 15 after-school clubs and programs that we allow our kindergarten through 12th grade students to be part of. So some of these examples is tutoring, gymnastics, Girls on the Run. As you can see from all these pictures, it's just great opportunities to offer for all age students at York. And I will pass on the next slide to Mr. Van Etten to wrap up our presentation.
Thanks, Ms. Smith. And we want to give a big shout out, of course, to our entire community. So this slide is a little bit of ways in which our families can get engaged at York and get involved in some of the events that we have taking place. We do have a very involved parent SAC committee that meets monthly to talk about ways to support York. In a normal year, we have a lot of parent volunteers that come in and out of our building to support our students. We like to host a lot of family events at York, and you can see some of those are around math, literacy, international, baccalaureate night. We do have conferences twice a year, and also our student council. Our students plan a lot of fun and engaging family events to take place here at York. All right, you might want to pause this slide here as you have an opportunity to take a quick photo of this. Also, you can use your phone to get directly to our York website to have the opportunity to enroll at York, or even check us out on social media as we have an Instagram account. If you have questions about the school and you'd like to call, you can call our front office or reach out directly to my office or even my email. The last slide that I have up to share with you guys, of course, is to go through any questions that you might have, and we're going to take a look at our chat bar here to see if any have been posted. But as we're taking a look at that, I want to give a big thank you to all the staff members that joined us this evening. They were so happy and excited to talk about all things York. Also, I want to let you guys know that when people ask, what is just one thing that I'd love to share about our school and about our community, it is that we are truly one big family under one roof. Being a K-12 school is pretty unique, but it's something we're very proud of. We ask you to take a look at our school website, rewatch this informational discovery session, or reach out to us with any questions you might have. Doesn't look like we had any questions posted this evening, but a few that we typically get is around whether or not we are a school with a uniform. We have had a uniform in the past, and we are currently working with our parents and students to figure out whether or not we will be bringing our uniform back to York International for the 2022-2023 school year. So stay tuned for updates on that. Other questions that we get are, do we support our students when they transition from middle school to high school or elementary to middle school? And we of course do. We hold a lot of orientations for students and a lot of information sessions for parents. So those are just a few of the questions that we often get, and we'd love to answer any more that you have. So once again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope you've learned a little bit more about York, and we absolutely hope that you choose York International to be your future school. Take care and have a great evening, everyone.